In this video, we are going to be exporting a finished design that we created with EasyStone here inside CorelDRAW, exporting that design for use with our Crystal Press rhinestone setting machine. Now, the Crystal Press rhinestone setting machine comes with a software called Crystal Press Studio, and it's an ancient piece of software. It's been around probably since 1946. I don't know. It's an old piece of software. And so it doesn't recognize the most common file formats like SVG and EPS files, those common vector file formats that we'd use today. It recognizes a file format called PLT, which really is not really widely used anymore, certainly not in the vector graphics community. But at any rate, that's the file format that we need to export for Crystal Press Studio to work. Okay, so let's go ahead and open up EasyStone. I'll show you how it's done. We just select our finished design here in CorelDRAW, and then on the miscellaneous tab, we would click on Export Vector File. Now, for those of you who don't know, let me just tell you real quickly. EasyStone will work with any version of CorelDRAW. Really, it's been tested from CorelDRAW X3 forward to the most current version. But there is one tiny little catch. Please listen to this. It's very important. First of all, EasyStone is free. Doesn't cost you a dime. Hey, that's good. The one drawback to that little caveat, the fact that it's free, is don't bother me with questions because I'll refuse to answer them. But no, seriously, it is free, but it doesn't come with any type of customer service. So we have dozens of videos on YouTube on how to use it, a couple of different videos on how to install it. If you simply cannot figure it out, it's $129, and you can ask questions for a lifetime, and I will be happy to assist. Okay? But otherwise, it's free. Download it, use it, enjoy it, love it. Thousands of hours of programming time went into EasyStone. It does some crazy, amazing things if you know what you're doing. All right? So, but one other point I really need to stress here, I'm using a Windows 64-bit machine. But EasyStone will only work with the 32-bit version of CorelDRAW. Okay, so for those of you who are using a newer machine like I am, Windows 64-bit, when you go to install CorelDRAW, you have to tell it specifically to install the 32-bit version. And then once you do that, and then you install EasyStone the way the video tells you to, voila, you're in business. Okay, you won't see any difference in how CorelDRAW functions, whether you're using the 32-bit version or the 64-bit version. There's no difference in performance or anything like that. So especially when it comes to rhinestone design, absolutely no difference. So that's why we don't have a 64-bit version, because we have a fully functional 32-bit version that works just fine. So yes, you can install both the 32-bit version and 64-bit versions of CorelDRAW on your computer, and everything will work perfectly fine. That's how I use it. So if you want to try it out, try it out. If you don't, that's okay too. But let's finish this project of exporting this file and getting it into Crystal Press Studio. So on the miscellaneous tab here in EasyStone, we would click on the export vector file, and it says that there's a group selected. Do you want to export the group? Yes, we do. And then we have to tell it how we want to export. So in this case, we only want to export a PLT file, and I'm going to name it something like this: test for video. Okay, so we give it a name, test for video, and there are some options up top. This is one of the things that makes EasyStone super special. I won't discuss it in this video, but this export option you will not find in any software, and yet it's immensely important. And I'm shocked that the other computer rhinestone software doesn't have this export option, but it is really quite amazing what we can do here. And EasyStone's the only one that has it. And like I said, it's pretty important. But we have a separate video that describes that. If you go to our YouTube channel, EasyStone Templates, look us up on YouTube, and then search that channel for the just type in export and it'll show you various different videos on exporting files. But this advanced export option here in EasyStone took literally thousands of hours of programming time. But it is one of the most advanced export options there are, and it is really, really super helpful. And you're able to export your template layouts super, super quick. Okay, so at any rate, for the purpose of CrystalPress Studio, we don't really have to do anything. So while there's some options here to check, because we're exporting a PLT file specifically for CrystalPress Studio, these options, all these various tabs, don't really apply to what we're doing. Okay, in this particular example, I am going to come back here and just show you just a little tiny tidbit of what does make this special, as long as you're watching the video. But let's just go ahead and export this file real quick. So again, we're just choosing the PLT option. We're not choosing any other special options up here. And all we have to do is click on this button to export files, and it will export the files. Now, if we didn't tell it to do otherwise, what it's going to do is it's going to plop a PLT file on our desktop. So let's minimize all of this if we can here. And you'll see right here, there is a PLT file and it says test for video. So here is CrystalPress Studio. Let's go ahead and pop it open. And I'm using version 3.1. I don't know if there's a newer version, to be honest. But at any rate, all we're going to do is drag and drop the PLT file into the CrystalPress Studio workspace. And ta-da! There it is. Okay. So there is our file. Now it'll come in looking like this. And so what we want to do, and you can utilize it just like this, certainly. We can go ahead and change out the colors. So let's do that quickly. So the first thing you want to do is you notice the option up here, that save option, is not highlighted. And it's just a weird thing. We have to turn on the visibility of all the layers. And now you can see it's highlighted. We can turn them off again if we want to. And now we could actually save the file. But it's just one little tiny caveat. We have to just click right here where it says layer visible, and then click it back off and layer unvisible. Now it can actually help to have the layers visible so we can see the coloring of our design. And all we do then to change the color where it says outline color of red, we want it to be this pinkish color. Click OK. The outline color of the yellow, we want it to be this pinkish color. Click OK. And then the other kind of golden yellow, we want it to be, I believe it was blue in our original design. And then green, we can click on this and change it to the blue. And ta-da, there we go. And then, of course, if we want to, we can go ahead and specify what spool. So SS6s, I always specify to spool 1 and spool 1, and then we have 10s that we're going to shoot to spool 2 and 2. And that's one of the nice things is when we're using that export function from EasyStone, and then we're dropping it in here, it knows from EasyStone what size circles are. It's all kind of coordinated so that when we bring it in here, what was SS16s or 20s or whatever, that when we bring it in here, it recognizes those as 10s and 12s and 16s and 20s and all the various different size of rhinestones for us. So that part's kind of handy too. And then so all we have to do is just click now to save that design. And you'll see here on our desktop now we have a CSP file ready to go for CrystalPress Studio, and this thing's ready for print. We could send this to our machine and we're good to go. All right, so that's exporting the design from CorelDRAW here into CrystalPress Studio. So let's go back to this design, and I just want to show you just real quickly one other neat feature in regards to the export file, as long as we're talking about exporting files. This, of course, would be more specifically for exporting our rhinestone template. So we're going to go ahead and choose the design again and export vector file. Now, let's talk about this. If we were exporting this to create a template, what I would do is I would probably export this all as one single template. because I'm an experienced transfer maker. I have no problems brushing in SS10 stones and then brushing in SS6 stones on the same template. I would use a little piece of hotfix tape to cover up the word through. And so I would go ahead and brush in all my blue stones in 10s and 6s. Then I take that hotfix tape off. I go ahead and brush in my hot pink stones, and boom, I'm in business, and go ahead and make the transfer as one piece. But we don't have to do that. Easy Stone does have the ability to make us two separate templates if that's really, or make as many templates as we want. But so, for example, I might tell Easy Stone to put the Capri Blue 6s and 10s on one template, and then on template 2, I want the 6s and 10s of the hot pink, okay? And then I would go ahead and I might export this design as either EPS or SVG, or in my case, I'll go ahead and shoot it out both ways. But then I click on Export Files here, and it's telling me the file already exists, and yes, we'll go ahead and replace the existing one. But what it will do for you is it will go ahead, you can see here, it's gone ahead and switched out the two files for us. So the two templates are ready to go if that's what we wanted to do. So it has that ability, and it's the only software that has the ability to pick and choose what stones you want on what template. So on more complicated files, if you look at the files that we offer on Easy Stone Templates, you're going to see that a lot of times we'll combine different color stones on one single template just because it makes the process easier to do. And we have little tricks that we use, like I said, cover that word up with a piece of hotfix tape. And then all of this could be on one template. And the cost of template material, we would not have to have two separate templates to make this design. Now, if I was making, maybe if I was making dozens and dozens of these, it might technically be quicker to have two separate templates. I don't know, but for me, if I can get it on one template, that's the way I prefer it. But having that option in the export vector file option, having the option to specify exactly how we want those stones exported on what template we want each stone color to be found, to me, huge, very powerful, only software that does it that I know of, at least in this way, where we can pick and choose. Most software will just kind of automatically separate the templates with every color. Doesn't give us the option to pick and choose. Where here we have the ability to take control and pick and choose exactly how we want to export. So at any rate, that's how it works with CrystalPress Studio. So you can see it's pretty simple to do. So that's the process. Thanks for watching.